I knew what I wanted to be. I wanted to be in the NFL and I wanted to be a Navy SEAL.
Had never met anyone like Clint before.
I didn't have a front tooth at the time. I played middle linebacker and then I saw her and all of a sudden I became instantly self-conscious.
And I was ready for adventure.
When 9/11 happened,
I knew that we were signed up for something different.
I love this nation, and perfect though it is, and I wanted to become who we say we want to be. I was given another opportunity to be with a fighting element.
I had known this man, drive and passion, and wanted to save the world, and he didn't know what to do.
I'd been on a mission my entire life. What am I good at besides fighting? Hey girls, let's roll.
Come on, girls.
Yeah, we have girls. Full tilt, full throttle.
A lot of emotion.
100 miles an hour with their hair on fire. Different directions. Fully engaged in life. Fun.
Last minute, kind of go with the flow.
Usually before we walk out the door, we all pray together.
For your son, Jesus. That's in his name we pray. Amen. Amen. All right, let's go. Maddie's our oldest. She's 15 years old. The artist, the dreamer.
She loves people and she loves experiences.
She's really friendly and like social. Me and Maddie get in like some fights, but over like clothes and stuff, just because we're so close in age. Me and her get along pretty well.
She's a good sister. She's happy a lot sometimes. Sometimes she's happy and sometimes she's like grumpy. She gets a little bossy sometimes, so don't like that.
Sutton is a ball of fire.
She's kind of the chaos personified in all of us. Yeah. Gifted athlete, very smart, loves people, loves life.
Sutton. She's very big personality. She starts up conversations with everybody. Sutton and me tend to fight a little bit more than Sutton and Lily Claire because I think our personalities are more alike. Me and Lily Claire are a little bit scared of her. She's like, don't let her age fool you. She's really cute, but like, she's very fierce. Sutton is 9. She's in 3rd grade. She's really sporty. She really loves like all that type of stuff. She doesn't like the girly stuff. And she's also very social and outgoing, and she likes to be friends with like everyone that she can be friends with.
Lily Claire, she's 13 and in 7th. She's nice. She usually, like, when she wants to play with me, it's usually like doing my hair and picking out my clothes. I don't like that stuff, so.
A very, very gifted athlete, just has this kind of contagious affability.
She kind of likes safe and steady, hard worker.
Lily Claire likes to go deep, not wide. Like, she's a little bit like you in that.
Yeah.
She wants to fully understand things.
Lily Claire is more like my mom. She's very quiet. She's more quiet and more reserved. She's really funny when she wants to be. She's probably the mature one out of me and Sutton. And we're all pretty close.
They have enough overlap to where it's really kind of fun to see the things they have in common, but there's a lot of diversity in them as well, which we love that.
And we have tried to raise them and let them know that they can try all sorts of different things. And so I think one reason why we feel busy in this season is they are doing so many different activities.
We gotta do what we
and
say. Hey, sign up for it. Oh, I gotta take you there? I forgot about, I didn't realize that.
So, you know, our oldest wants to do voice lessons, and she's on swim team, and she wants to Irish dance.
And I think she looks at a map and she tries to figure out where you can do those things as far apart from each other. Like, if there's a closer place to do Irish dance, let's kick it like 20 miles away from that, just so I can test mom and dad's like logistics planning capability.
Yeah, it keeps it fun.
In the military and the special operations community, one of the things you know a place is going to be bad when 3 things happen. When you have the suppression of critical thinking, people aren't taught to think for themselves. 2, when there's limited economic opportunity, and 3, when the female voice is suppressed. When women have no voice, that's where bad places are and bad people are. And so, for us, we've always wanted to raise our girls where they know they have a voice, and they know that not only do they have a voice, they have an obligation to speak truth and love, and so we got to live that out here, right? And we got to let them have a voice here too, which is fun because you never know what they're gonna say.
Clint is an adventurer and a dreamer, so we run with that. I'm a little more like things safe and secure, so it makes it interesting.
It's complimentary. Complimentary be. I don't know how much she thinks it's complimentary. I feel very complimentary. I think she feels just in pure chaos. all the time. But we kind of grew up in that. We grew up, our marriage grew up in that in the military, just not necessarily owning our schedule and being married right after college. So it's just a continuation of that, but less bullets. My dad grew up in South Texas. His father passed away when he was 8. Dad grew up in an environment where, he was looked down upon and just kind of being in that poverty level. And he went in the Army and for the first time in his life was fed 3 meals a day. My mother and father loved the Lord. We had an amazing kind of church.
I grew up in a sweet family who loved the Lord. We just going to church all my life. Went to a Christian school, went off to college, and the Lord, I feel like he just kind of protected me in all these different stages of my life.
Loved the game of football, wasn't very good at it. I loved the camaraderie and the brotherhood. And then right as I started to kind of figure out who I was on the football field is when my dad started to kind of manifest these symptoms that no one really knew what it was. And then my senior year, he got sick and passed away. And, I lost this one key vital relationship. I think God is incredibly tender and generous with who he surrounded me with, and these coaches and these teammates and their dads, and who their dads became to me. And I remember fathers just waiting after games to make sure I heard from them what my dad would have said to me in college.
I met Clint in college. We were back home, and his roommate from the Naval Academy went to high school with me. And just a group of kids got together and...
Well, he actually liked you. I just knew you weren't gonna like him back. So I wanted to save him because I care about him. And so I was like, listen, I don't want you to go through the pain of rejection, so I'm gonna step in here real quick before you experience that because I care about you.
Yeah. He asked me to do something the next night,
Yeah,
and
I didn't have any time. I'd never had a girl that was that beautiful, like, continue to talk to me past, hey, how are you? And the worst thing is, I didn't have a front tooth at the time. I played middle linebacker, and I was hit by a drunk driver and crushed the side of my face, and I didn't have a front tooth, and I couldn't find my tooth before I was supposed to drive home for the few days break we had, so I just left my tooth, and I just kind of embraced that role as a linebacker, and I didn't really care, and then I saw her, and all of a sudden I became instantly self-conscious about not having a tooth. So she didn't know I didn't have a tooth, but she thought I had a speech impediment. So I was like, hi, my name is Clint, and trying to keep that top lip low. And took her on a date the next night, and I was like trying to put a chick lit up in there. I was like, that didn't match. And so
I had never met anyone like Clint before. I mean, I think I was like, he is a great man, and he's going to do great things, and the Lord is going to use him, and he has.
I'd prayed just a few days before meeting her that, I said, listen, God, I'm just not doing this dating thing well. And I think it's because I'm trying to be God in that instead of let you be God in that. So I'm done until you elect to kind of have me meet the person that you kind of want me to live life with. Next night I went over to see her, and she hands me this cassette tape, is this deck, and it was Study It, Song of Solomon. And she's like, if you want to date me, you'll listen to this. I'm like, you're hot. I'll listen to whatever you want to. As it be Carl Sagan's Universe, I don't care. I'm listening to it.
We were kind of the first ones out of our friends to get married.
Yeah,
I mean, right when he graduated from the Naval Academy.
Listen,
we
here's what I
got
know.
married.
No one looks better than they do in choker whites. Girls her age, all they see is Tom Cruise, Top Gun. So I was like, I gotta lock this down, because this is the best I'm ever gonna look. Graduating from the Naval Academy, I'm peaking right now. So I gotta lock it in where we have the whole, the context of Annapolis in the spring and the chapel and all these other, like this, if I give her time to think about this, she may change her mind, right? So we got married really quickly. We knew life was coming. I mean, there was big life decisions. There was the NFL, there was the special operations community, and there was these pivot points that were going to influence our life together one way or the other. So I was like, hey, let's do that. Let's be married.
I was ready for adventure. I think I'd kind of grown up in a just safe environment for so long. I was excited to go kind of be in the Navy and be a Navy wife.
I love this nation, imperfect though it is, and I wanted to take my position on the wall to preserve this experiment to become who we say we want to be. Man, we jumped right into it. I went to the Baltimore Ravens after Annapolis, and I wanted to serve. That's one of the reasons I went to Annapolis, was to serve. So we left the Ravens, I checked in for SEAL training, was fortunate enough to make it through training, and came back out and went to the Saints briefly. Everything I loved about football was 10x in the military and the special operations community. Just went full bore into the military experience.
I knew that we were signed up for something different.
So I was actually overseas when 9/11 happened. When you're in the counterterrorism space, there's always some kind of work, right? But then obviously when 9/11 happened, we knew the work was going to begin in earnest and across the United States military experience. Post 9/11 and then signed up for another deployment. The way it works as an officer, there's only so many opportunities to be at the fighting element. Everybody serves, but I wanted to be with the fighting element. And so I was given another opportunity to be with the fighting element and do what we were supposed to do. And when I left, you were 7 months pregnant. Mm-hmm. So Maddie, she was born while I was over. So I came home, she was 8 months old. And I remember coming home and meeting my daughter and being here because we'd bought this, and then I went over and never had a home. And I would say that maybe the most challenging part of our marriage is when we got out.
Yeah.
The things that you do and the places you go and the things you see, they change you. And how do you come home who you are now in a way that's consistent with what you said you do when you said I do?
Being in the military is not safe, but it is safe.
Yeah.
You know, when your paychecks are coming, you know that you've got a job, you have health insurance,
Yeah.
you have the community around you as
Yeah.
your family. I mean, it's hard, but it felt safe. And then you get out of the military, and then you have life, and you got to deal with like a real job and
Well,
all different kinds of people, and relocating and starting all over when all your other friends have been settled, had kids, they're making their money, they're buying their
You
houses.
feel like you're
and-
behind. From the time I was in 7th grade, I knew what I wanted to be. I wanted to be in the NFL and I wanted to be a Navy SEAL. And then I found myself doing both, and I had such clarity of who I was going to be and just kind of like this purpose that all of a sudden you don't.
I had known this man, and he was, you know, football was his life, and being a Navy SEAL was his life, and he had all this drive and passion and wanted to save the world, and then he gets out, and he doesn't know what to do, and he doesn't know what his purpose is, other than I have a baby and a wife and a mortgage.
I'd been on a mission my entire life, and physicality was an element of my success. And all of a sudden, there's no battle rhythm, there's no deployment cycle, there's no competitive season, and your success or failure has very little to do with your physicality. And so there's this kind of season of, well, what am I good at besides fighting?
It was the first time I'd ever worried about Clint and worried about our life. Life was stressful.
I always felt like that green monster was just right below the surface.
Financially was so hard.
Stunning failure as a daddy. I hate that night in my life.
You were so scary.
Dear God, how can I help my fear of my family getting hurt?
We've lost more military men and women to suicide than we have to training and combat.
Like, what if he didn't come home? Like, where would I be?
Why them, not me? I knew I wasn't home. I was here, but I wasn't home. And I knew that my wife deserved a husband who was home. My daughter deserved a daddy who was home. I just said, that's not going to happen again.
God is love, and love comes from God. In 1 John, the Bible tells us that God is not only all-loving, but that He actually is love itself. The heart of the Parent Compass television show is to bring the transforming love of God to families everywhere. In every Parent Compass episode, true stories reveal family struggles and how their lives were radically changed by the love of God. Parent Compass, an award-winning television series, is completely funded by people like you. If you have been touched by God and you want to share God's love to others, would you please pass it on? Jesus tells us to go into all the world and to tell about Him. With your donation, you allow us to take this television show into many different nations and in many different languages, free of charge. And a portion of your donation goes to Parent Compass Outreach to feed starving children. Your gift does so much. To make your tax-deductible gift, go to parentcompass.tv/donate. That's parentcompass.tv /donate. And thank you for sending love and hope around the world.